All right. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm joined with my teammates here. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
I'm Claire Wooten. Yep.
I'm Tyler Friday.
I'm Vinny Costanzo.
Yep. And then I'm Curtis Shore. And so for our topic, we're talking about the impact of the coronavirus and how that's taken away the spring game for Ohio State. So my aspect that I'm going to talk about is the community aspect. And so I've grown up around Ohio State. I'm just like 15 minutes southwest of campus. And the spring game for me growing up was a great way for me and my family to, experience what a little bit of the game day experience is like, when Lane Avenue shut down, all these, like, everyone's walking around, go to College Traditions, purchase things, it was a way for us to get on campus for cheap. Spring game tickets for general admission are $5. And so without that, there's a lot of community, members like me who are younger and may not have the financials to go to an in-season game, which right now the ticketing average for an actual game in season is $168. So with that huge, kind of gap, it's easy to see why a lot of community members are disappointed because, this year they might not be able to see, the 2020 Buckeyes in person. So.
Okay. Well, my topic was the revenue. And so from the Ohio State spring game, on average, they get about 60,000 fans in. And Ohio State actually holds the national record for the most attendance at a spring game. So really, they're only going to be missing the cost of the general admission, which is $5 and then $15 for the reserved club seats. But on top of that, there's going to be missing the game day experience and people getting in, like Curtis said, to come see it. Students are free when they come to the game, so they're not going to be losing revenue there. But from research I found, they're more just concerned about next year. Gene Smith reported on CBS Sports that if Ohio State were to shy away from having fans, Ohio State would lose about $50 million. That's how much money they make just from their home games. So right now, we said that's the biggest concern they're having, and overall, they're just worried about player safety. And lastly, with the revenue, so as well as Ohio State losing money, they're more concerned also with restaurants and bars. The three business owner reported that this is the heaviest time that they have the most business, and the spring game really gives them a lot of money. So on top of Ohio State, just the surrounding areas are losing money from this. And that's what I found.
So from a staff perspective, the lack of a spring game kind of has a long-lasting effect. On top of the immediate repercussions of losing the valuable time with the players for the coaching staff and evaluating not only the current talent and depth chart, also on future repercussions of the new incoming freshmen, and the recruiting classes coming in, because there's a lot of recruiting that happens during the spring game, and a lot of incoming freshmen and future classes come to watch that game, to learn what the Ohio State tradition's about. So from that recruiting perspective, and also with the incoming freshmen, with the new quarterback situation, just developing who's going to be the future of the Buckeyes and how things are going to be affected by this is pretty monumental. So I think that losing this valuable time on top of the spring camp and the spring game, that could have a little bit of a long-lasting effect on the team.
I think you guys are pretty much spot on. I'm gonna be talking about the players' perspective, and honestly, as a player, it's been tough. I think we have to realize that everyone's going through this across the country, so it's not just us. And at the end of the day, you're still a football player. So what that means for us is that we still have to take care of our health, still have to work out, even though that may be difficult, trying to find fields. We've probably been kicked off probably about 4 or 5 fields by now. And, we're just still going out there trying to find a way. And our coaches have been really helpful. They've been dropping off food, dropping off weights, whatever we need. And I think this is really a time that we need to stay together. I think everyone's so isolated across the country. I think just communicating, just staying well, staying strong as a team, making sure that bond and that family atmosphere doesn't go away. I think that's important for us.
Yeah, well, you guys bring up great points. And, as much as it sucks and, you know, there's a lot of impacts on the community and, you know, staff and revenue, and obviously Tyler as a player, I feel like this is the right call for everyone's safety, especially, you know, players and the community members and things like that. But, you know, I think in general, I think Buckeye Nation is so strong. And Tyler, you talked about, you know, the brotherhood of players and whatnot. I think that carries off the field. And I think, you know, in turn, with that spirit, it'll, you know, make everyone just happier and more excited and ready for when that time comes to see everybody back on the field and in the horseshoe. So with that, guys, thanks for listening. Yeah, go Bucks.